Post Meridian Podcast. We will rock your world. Whatever. That babe. Norm life, baby.
Hello,
Marcus.
it's Post Meridian Podcast, and I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Alexis.
and we're sitting here with neighbor Dan, a band from Hubbard, Ohio.
Sort of Hubbard.
What is it?
We're from all over the place.
All over the place, Ohio. Or
And Pennsylvania, too.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Mercer, all this stuff.
Yeah, town. Okay, cool. We're gonna get into that. I guess if everybody just wants to kind of go around and be like, "Hello, I'm so and so, and
Right.
and I do this for a living. This is who I am outside of the band," kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm Phil. I play guitar from Mercer. I work as a caregiver. I kind of have like 3 shitty jobs right now, like a caregiver, a TSS, but I haven't done that in a while, and then I've been cutting wood.
He's a woodcutter.
Like baking slabs. So.
What's a TSS?
Therapeutic staff support.
Oh,
I worked with kids with disabilities and autism and stuff.
That's very awesome.
They used to call it
That does take a
wraparound.
lot.
I fucking hate the job. That's why I haven't got back. And like I haven't been working there for like 6 months. And I'm like a new company just bought the company I work at, and they want me to sign over. They're like, check your email. And it's like, I'm not even responding. Like at this point.
Yeah, it's deactivated. Bye. Yeah, I would not have the patience.
Yeah,
I don't think.
it's a weird job. I don't know.
Big time. Right.
I guess that's the.
Phil's an angel outside the band. Okay.
He's a really good dude.
I'm so nice.
He's also a mopedophile.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like riding mopeds.
Yeah.
and-
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask what is that, but I'm like too scared to know.
Yeah, I bought
you
this
know?
moped, and he had this pun. He's like, "You're a mopedophile." I was like, "Oh, that's fucking terrible. Like terrible.
That's fun. I would enjoy a moped big time. Okay.
My name is TJ Costanza, and I play guitar, number 2 in this group. And I am the Hubbard guy. We practice in my wife and I's basement. And aside from this, I am a printer. I print like pieces of paper with stuff on it.
Nice.
No way.
That's
We've got
cool.
2 printers in
2
the
printers,
house.
yes.
Oh,
And
Original.
I'm actually,
Awesome.
I'll get this out of the way now. I'm actually a drummer more than anything, but
Really?
I don't like playing drums anymore unless it's for money.
Right.
Hey,
Pretty
I don't
much.
blame you.
So, but yeah, so guitar is a lot more creative and freeing, and I can write stuff. So,
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
2 in 1.
Cool.
Yeah. Good
All right.
situation.
Moving on.
I'm Lucas. I play bass guitar in this band, and when I'm not in this band, I'm a welder, fitter, fabricator. I build stuff out of metal, and
Sick.
yeah, it's pretty sick.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Metalwork is cool.
I don't know. But yeah, well, Phil had a good story. This is, you know what I mean? This isn't quite as good of a story. I just build stuff out of metal. It's dirty and stinky, and I'm tired of it.
Ready to retire.
I'm getting to the point where I am too old for this shit.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe the band will take off so big.
Wouldn't that just
It'll
be
be a
like the
full-time
best thing
situation.
ever?
Yeah.
I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, it's a manifestation. Who knows,
Right.
you know? All right.
I'm Joe Schaefer, I guess last name.
Joe
I haven't worked since the world ended, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just,
I'm a jealous.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania pays for me to do nothing, basically.
Cool.
Just hang out.
Yeah.
So
Might as well
before
take
that,
it.
I drove Uber and Lyft and all that stuff just full time. Just did that for
Really?
like 3 years. Yeah.
So many
Best
people
job
are-
I ever had. I live in Zeeling, Opal. It's like near Cranberry.
Dude,
We
I'm
live by
Opal all the
Zillion
time.
Opal. We're,
yeah, you guys are from
Elwood City.
Elwood. Yeah,
Yeah.
my girlfriend's from Elwood.
No way.
Yeah,
Shut up.
Yeah.
We probably know her.
I think you guys do. Her name's Brittany Brown. one of you
Brittany
two,
Brown.
like.
How old
know,
is she?
She's going to be 27 next week.
Okay, I was just gonna say if she's who I think
I wanna.
she is, she's a
She
she's a
lives
great
in
bloke.
Outport, right?
She went to
Right?
Elwood. or
Okay,
whatever that
I think
means,
I think-
but
Elwood's
she lives
like-
in Mars now.
Wow. Small world.
Yeah.
I
Dude.
tell you.
Too
So,
small for me.
I lived in Pittsburgh. But that's usually where I drive a lot. It's like airport and all that stuff.
Ah.
I'm the vocalist, by the way. I yell nonsense.
Yell very well.
And
Okay.
yeah, I haven't done anything. I hang out in a camper up in Erie most of my time.
Cool.
That's freaking
Nice. Hey,
It's
might as
better
well
than
The
do
American
that.
dream right
You
now.
know?
I'm just hanging out.
That's sweet.
Camper
Cool.
quarantine.
So we'll see then December 31st. We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. Okay.
All right, my turn. I am. My name is Marcus Pacheco. I try to play drums in this band, and much like TJ, I also print stuff on paper. And Corona kind of ruined that for a little bit, and just waiting for that call back.
Get back to printing.
That's it. The exciting world of. And I think that's about it for me. Actually, I'm from Sharon.
You're from Sharon.
Side note: Marcus and I don't work at the same place.
We do not work the same place. No.
Yeah, same
You
town.
don't print lottery tickets. What, is that what you said you printed?
Yeah, we print like pull tab tickets that you find at like VFWs and bars and stuff like that. And TJ does a little bit more elaborate stuff.
I do like hospital menus,
Wow.
calendars, small books,
Okay.
information pamphlets, maps.
Nice. That's cool.
That is
Yeah, it's
so
pretty sweet.
Sweet.
I hate it, but it's pretty sweet.
I hate it, but
I'm kind of good at it, so like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I guess I'll stick with it.
So are you originally from Sharon?
I'm from Sharon, yeah.
Everybody.
Wow.
Oh, you're
Yeah, I went to
Texas.
Sharon.
Yeah, okay. I thought
No, I
everybody
live
was kind of
almost
from
in Sharon.
I was born in Sharon.
You were born in Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon
Oh, I was
Regional.
born in Yellowstone.
Never went to Daphne's
I was born in Grove
campus.
City. Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta go.
We all kind of know each other from the area. I just moved a long time ago, and
Yeah.
we kind of rekindled.
Wow.
Joe and I went
met
to
this
school
fella
together.
here.
I just said you and I went to school together.
That's awesome. Well,
Now we're men. From boys to men.
Sort of. Boys to men.
Back at it.
okay, well, how did you develop the name Neighbor Dan? That's a very interesting name.
We had a neighbor named Dan.
That's what
Yeah.
I figured. I was just.
Yeah.
The
I was
TJ and I used
thinking
to live
that,
in
yeah.
Pittsburgh a long time ago. We had a wild neighbor next door, and he was kind of like a combination of like Jack Nicholson and like Mr. Leahy from Trailer Park
No.
Boys a little bit. Like he's just
Mhm.
wild, always in the
I love
road,
him.
just messed up. You know, if they're
The
on
dude.
some sort of drug, but like the nicest
Okay.
guy ever.
Right.
And just thought it was a funny name. You know, we're like kind of a heavy band, and we don't want to be like deaths, doors, punch,
Right,
figure,
right.
5, whatever. You know,
Right.
but so
I like that, though. That's pretty
good.
So I was
Did-
thinking like 5 finger death punch. We just mixed up the words.
Wait, so you said Death's Door Punch Finger 5? Can that be the new song title?
I'm so impressed you remember that. 'Cause I forgot it as I was saying.
Yeah, I don't know how you remember that either. It's pretty amazing.
We were almost called Beef Girl, which
Beef?
is named
Yeah.
after my cat.
Oh my
Her name's
god.
Sophia, but we call her Beef, and then turned into Beef Girl.
She's chunky.
There was also a while where they were throwing around Power Boys.
Yeah.
All one word.
That was really funny.
Howard was my favorite. I like that name.
That is a good name.
It's
right?
like the
That's
idea of
sick,
like Neighbor
yeah.
Dan. You don't know unless you like heard us. You're not gonna know what you're gonna get.
Right.
Until
Oh,
you
definitely.
hear us. Like, it could be pop punk. It could be some dude who goes
Right.
by Neighbor Dan.
Right.
But I just
It
think
That
could
was
be your
exciting,
neighbor,
though.
Dan.
Keeps people like guessing. You know, if they
Yeah.
don't know, they're like, "Who is this?" And I come see you, and it's like
Right.
heavy.
I was
Loved
surprised
it.
that we all agreed on it.
Yeah,
Actually, it's tough to come up with a name.
Yeah.
for sure.
5 people in a
Silly,
band, it's
but
tough to
they're-
like agree on, like have every single person agree
Yeah.
on everything. So
I'm sure.
We didn't come
Yeah.
up with the name either until what? Like
We had like
5,
6 songs
months into the
before we
band.
could
Yeah.
decide a name.
Wow.
Yeah.
we didn't even really talk about it until.
No.
No.
We had to do something, so we had to like, all right, we got to come up with a name to
Yeah.
tell these people. That
How are we gonna put it out
Just
there?
I
name.
guess it's
Yeah.
time, guys.
Right. It's like naming a baby, but having like
Yeah.
5 people in on agreeing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're about to poop out this kid. What should we name it? I'm sorry.
Somebody decide. Yeah, that's funny.
How would you describe like the genre of music you make?
First thing I tell people like is heavy is generally the first word, and then after that, like a lot of people don't understand what the word riffy means, like guitar riffs. So where it's not like look how fast we can play guitar and solo and stuff, but it's just like you have one guitar riff, and then you play it 4 times in a row, 8 times in a row. That's riffy, I
Like
guess you could say.
Doom.
Kind of doomy, yeah. Like there's doom stuff. We have like stoner influences in some of our stuff. I don't know. I've always been really bad at describing musical genres of like projects I've been in.
Right.
I just try to refrain from the word metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kind of have to use it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's just like you say metal, you just get an idea in your head. You just see a dude just like
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
swinging hair.
And then like
Metalocalypse.
older people will be like, so metal like Metallica,
Yeah.
like, what like or what about it's Five Finger Death Punch,
Yeah.
and they're like
It's not like
no.
Hell no.
Now that I'm older,
Yeah.
I feel silly saying hardcore.
Mhm.
We're like
Right.
hardcore.
Yeah, right.
See,
Freaking hard.
Kind of, it's like takes from all these different directions.
Yeah.
Like it's like post metal,
Yeah.
sludgy. Some of the
like a
stuff's
bunch of
more
sub-genres.
technical, and
Mhm.
yeah.
I'd say like I don't know. I don't want to say alternative either. That doesn't mean anything. Indie doesn't.
It's
mean
hard to
anything
describe the
anymore.
genre. Basically,
Yeah.
it's like bits and pieces of like things you all
Right.
enjoy.
Open-minded,
incorporated into
heavy
one.
stuff.
yeah,
That's a good one.
Like-
yeah.
Are you guys like
I'm-
into Sonic Youth? Because I see a lot of this pedal
Oh.
situation. That's why I'm
I-
questioning it.
I love Sonic Youth.
That's
At
what
least
I
some of-
felt like
at
when I
least
saw
some
it.
of
So I'm
their
like,
stuff.
there's
Yeah.
I've
scores
only,
here
like,
right now.
dabbled.
It was cool. Yeah,
There's
for
one
sure.
record that I've heard like a bunch of times, and I think that's probably the only record I know. I'm not like intimately familiar with their catalog. I think Daydream
Okay.
Nation is the record, and it's
Yeah.
like the only record I've heard.
Nice.
That's it. So I don't really know.
I saw them on the
Good
Rather
record.
Ripped tour.
Wait,
which is
what
pretty
did
cool.
you just say? Shut your mouth. Was it amazing or amazing?
It was really good. It was really
I
good.
can't even talk
I was sitting really
today.
far back.
I would die.
It was like a
die.
festival thing.
Still
Death-
to know they're like
Death Cab for Cutie played too.
What? That's wild.
Murder by Death. Yeah, it was just random lineup on a festival. Some Japanese like dance pop band played. It was pretty
That's
cool with
an
2 drummers.
experience.
Was Murder by Death the band that had Cody from Big Business in it?
I don't know. I know they had a cello.
Murder by Death.
It's a sweet name.
Yeah, it is a good name.
That is
Death.
wild as hell.
But it's a weird thing because like I'm older than these
Sounds
dudes,
like Johnny Cash.
and like when they mention bands and such, like chances are really good that I've never fucking heard of them. And I've never heard of them, and then they'll bring up a genre of music, like, and I'm like, you gotta explain to me what that
Right.
is.
You're
Like,
speaking a different
yeah, Phil
language,
talks.
yeah.
He said something last night, and I was like, what is that? You know, like I don't know what that is.
Explain it to me.
Yeah, so he explained it to me, but like I don't know. It's just kind of odd, kind of mathy, weird time signatures.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's
kind of
not-
a little more progressive.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's. I always warn people that like it's maybe not like super friendly.
Yeah. There's no
Right.
commercial potential,
No.
Yeah,
right.
which is cool.
Yeah,
Is
It's not a smiling neighbor, Dan.
no.
Like,
No, it's like a fucking cigarette butts everywhere kind of
Right.
neighbor Dan.
Dan is rough right now.
Pickup truck bed full of empty beer cans kind of neighbor Dan.
Dirt front yard.
Yeah.
dirt front
Just
yard.
up all night.
Car on blocks. Baby screaming.
Yeah.
But you want to be his
You
friend.
you
Right,
might
we
want
like
to clean the
that.
bathroom after Dan uses it.
Yeah.
'cause it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a neighbor with a dirt front yard and a hot tub in the front yard.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
God.
They
That
were
Trying
rules.
that house on the West Hill.
Trash.
I know exactly.
The family had a limo somehow.
I remember
What?
seeing that limo. It was like
It's
on
probably
Wow,
Bloomberg.
that makes
or something.
sense.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the names.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to call anyone out. I guess if you want to go by like one by one, like who's your biggest influence musically? Like,
Jesus first.
He played a mean harmonica.
Jesus, yeah.
I don't know. I can't pick just one. I like all kinds of music, and
Right.
I don't think there's been like any one musical artist that I'm like, oh, this is like the defining sound I want, because I just like too much stuff.
Oh, I feel
So,
that, yeah.
Um,
I guess you could pick like a couple like
Throw out your top 3 bands.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
top-
I feel like some of the bands that influence like my playing style or the riffs I come up with in this band are bands like Thou and Brave Young and Yob, like Sleep, Sabbath. I mean, that's
All
cliche,
wild
but
bands.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know,
These are all
just-
bands that I love. No
all
shit.
kinds of different stuff. I don't know. A lot of times when I think about like writing music in this band, I don't really think of like, do I want to sound like this band, I think more in terms of like time signatures or like keys or just sort of chords that go together or patterns, just like, oh, like we have these notes and chords and these patterns, and this stuff might sound cool together if we try it this way. And that's how I'd usually come up with stuff for this band.
Right. Yeah, it's good to have your own like signature style.
Yeah.
Your own.
But I mean like in my personal life, like I listen to a lot of like synth soundscapes and like just ambient music,
That's
like
pretty
hip hop.
cool. Yeah.
I don't know, random death metal. Like Deicide's a big influence on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good to have a wide, I don't know, variety of genres going around. Heck yeah. Okay, well,
My turn, I guess.
yes.
All right. So, not getting into how I write, but like just what I would listen to normally. I get like super obsessive with music. So like I go through phases where it's like months. So I'm just listening to like one or two bands generally. My favorites though, since I was a kid, I mean, I'll throw the Beatles thing out there just because, you know, who doesn't? Most people like the Beatles. That's how I started to get into music. But
Right.
Frank Zappa has
Oh,
been one of my
yeah.
favorites of all time
very
since
smart.
I was probably 10 or 11, I think, maybe even earlier.
Yeah,
my-
it's a genius.
Yeah.
My dad was he used to play in bands, and his bass player, this fellow by the name of Terry, he's just like, you ever heard of Frank Zappa? I'm like, no. So he made me some tapes and stuff, and I got really into it. So now I have like all of his like 60-some records and DVDs. More modern wise, I'm really into a band called Swans.
Swans.
Yeah, it's super. They've been around since the 80s, but they're like every album's different. Some old like 80s gothy stuff. Some their last 5 albums they came out with in the 2000s are fantastic. Just big soundscapes, and it builds, and it's the loudest concert I've ever been to in my life. That kind of stuff. Aside from that, just I'll go through phases of other things. A lot of metal, you know. Like Napalm Death. I really like Napalm Death a lot. I listen to like 90s hip hop once in a while, like early 90s stuff. Yeah. And then like your 2000s like stuff when I was in high school, like not pop punk, but like screamo-ish
Right.
stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You know, not,
I return back to those days every
not like the real corny stuff, but like stuff that sounds kind of like the band Thursday. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not too...
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not good at describing it, but like,
I love those.
yeah, no, Thursday rules. But like, but actually, before I wrote like heavy riffs and stuff, that's the kind of stuff I would write. Would be like
Okay.
what people would consider to be like emo core,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
like
definitely. Yeah.
screamo stuff. So,
I always hated Thursday.
but it's so easy to write too. That's why when I started writing songs, I was like, I can play these 3 chords and I have a song.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and then also 70s funk. I'm sorry, I'm taking forever.
No.
But like my old man was a sax player, and a music instructor. So like, he turned me on to like a lot of 70s funk music, like
That's
George
awesome.
Clinton, this band called Tower of Power. There's a lot of bands with full horn sections. Chicago, pretty much anything. You know, Blood, Sweat, and Tears was another one that's really cool. So, the only music I don't really like is modern country.
Oh, we don't either. It
I don't
sucks.
really
If it's any other kind of music, I will probably dig it. But yeah,
Right,
as long as if it's country music that's like new,
Yeah.
then I'm not interested in it. But everything else,
I
I'll
love-
The
listen.
Georgia line business. Or like become boy
Right.
bands, but
Yeah.
they're country. It's like,
It's terrible.
ooh, no. I'm disgusted.
I love like fucked up Appalachian hillbilly country from like 1926. Like
Yeah.
this guy, Riley Puckett. It's just, he was like a blind dude who had a guitar, and he has like songs about like not paying his bills and doing cocaine and like kicking his dog, just like
Oh my
weird shit. Songs
Sounds
about
pretty real.
songs about cooking like sausage in a fire pan and like making sauerkraut, just nuts things. Like, could you imagine hearing that on the radio today with modern country?
That'd be
People
awesome.
will be like, what in the actual? I'm like, what am I hearing? That'd be wild as hell.
I'd rather listen to that than modern country.
Right.
You know,
Me
yeah.
too.
But I feel like all the newer generation of kids would be like, what is this? You know, they're on a different level. But I won't even get into that. Okay. Lucas.
Okay. When I started playing the bass, like when I was young enough to like be able to pick out the bass guitar in songs. It was really flashy bass players that like got me to notice that kind of shit, like Les Claypool or Flea, and it was just like a bunch of real busy stuff. I had no desire to play like that, and I never have, I never did. But that was like, as a kid, it got me to notice like, oh, that's what the bass guitar is doing, and I wanted to do that. And so like the heavy hitters, Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath, Geddy Lee, the guy what's his name, Mel Schachter from Grand Funk Railroad, just like some good rock and roll players. And I listened to, I was probably like 18 years old, and I heard Caius for the first time, and that sort of like sent me down the stoner rock path, and I've really never strayed super, super far from that, like,
Right.
while I don't listen to Caius that much anymore, like, they sort of opened a door for me into, like, heavy psych and, just stoner rock in general, I guess.
Right.
And, I usually end up playing in bands that are stoner rock bands, more or less. So this is the first time in a long time that I've played with a pick, and I only recently started playing with a pick. And, I just have changed things up to do something that I haven't done anything like since like 1995. You know what I mean? This is just like a different thing that I normally do. And I enjoy it. It's challenging because it's stuff that I just haven't played, time signatures. The tempo alone is like 3 times faster than anything I've played in the last 10 years, probably. But
yeah, anything stoner super slow.
Yeah,
down,
usually slow,
so.
4/4,
Right.
and we have very little in this band that isn't 4/4 at all. Like, very little. Like, there's a few bits of songs that are like, okay, now it's 4/4 for a while, and it moves on to something else. But it's just, it's different than stuff I've done previously. And Marcus is a really good drummer, so it's fun to play with Marcus, and it's just fun. You know what I mean? It's not stoner rock, although there are some stoner rock parts, and I try and like leave my greasy stoner rock fingerprints anywhere I can. But it's fun as fuck. It's different than stuff I normally have played.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
You'd think I'd have an answer by now. Oops. But being like the vocalist, I don't know if there's anybody really that directly inspired me as far, because I'm not playing much of an instrument. I don't try to like copy anybody's style. I'm always hesitant to drop this name, but the band Coalesque, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them.
I don't think so.
My voice can kind of be comparative to it, and I try to not rip that dude off, but it's just kind of like what naturally comes out of me. It's like just the only way I know how, and I think that's because during my formative, like, heavy years, that's like how I learned how to yell. Which is a weird thing to learn how to do. It's just like you're sitting in your room by yourself at your computers being like, like making sure nobody's home. So like these guys have like headphones on, like practicing stuff. I'm sitting there.
Sweetie, do you need help?
So,
Dude, I like never practiced with headphones. I would like crank my amps to my parents and be like, "Shut the fuck up."
But, like, I love all types of music. I mean, if you looked into my soul, like I'm a black woman. Like, I love R&B. Like, that's like one of my favorite artists of all time is like Aaliyah. Like, I love Aaliyah. I love
Aaliyah's good.
Coalesque, I guess. I'm trying to cover every genre. Say Anything was very formative when I was learning about like newer bands, and that wasn't like Limp Bizkit or Korn or Stained. And like that's a lot of what I listened to. I listened to a lot of radio rap growing up. I didn't have like a lot of like. My mom was in bands and stuff, but she played in like covers and stuff like that. Owen, definitely Owen. Anything that he's involved, American football, that type of stuff. Yeah, I like a little bit of everything. But
yeah, the way to do it. Okay.
My turn. Yeah. Well, I guess when it comes to playing drums, it's a little bit of an interesting answer as far as like my influences. I wouldn't say that I'm really influenced by any music that I listen to. I'm more so influenced by the people that I'm playing with, if that makes any sense.
Right.
It's just weird. It's like what I listen to a whole lot of different stuff also. It's a very generic answer. But if you like look at recent playlists that I have right now, like I'm real big into like retro wave and like synth wave and stuff like that, like kind of poppy shit. The Midnight September '87 I'm a big fan of. I've been rocking Alicia Keys a lot.
Nice.
Really?
Yes, like nobody's business. Ed James has also been on my playlist, like nobody's business. So it's just it's weird because like I can't really pull inspiration from stuff that I currently listen to as far as music because we are a heavier band.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just whoever I'm playing with, whoever I'm vibing with at that time, like I just kind of like feed off of what other people are putting out and stuff like that and just kind of take it from there and stuff. So
Right.
that's
Okay.
about it.
Cool. Well, I'd probably have to say the same thing. I have so many different
Yeah.
influences. It's
For
like
sure.
not even funny. Okay, well,
What's your songwriting process? How does this situation start?
One of us will come up with a riff, and then we'll all just put it together, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'll kind of, like we've had songs that have taken, like our first couple songs, a little backstory, Joe and myself were in a similar type of project back in the late 2000s. And he mentioned that band Coalesce. At the time, I was listening to like a bunch of that band, and I was just like, I'm going to write everything that sounds like that,
Yeah.
So like,
Maybe Botch.
and Botch too, yeah,
Coalesce
Botch
and
was,
during that time.
yeah, so we had that type of vibe.
Every Hydra head metal.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And like back then, I wrote like every single riff, and we had trouble keeping band members. And we went through a couple drummers, a couple bass players, and things just like fizzled out eventually, basically. So fast forward 10, 11 years, and now we start this, and now it's more like I struggle as I don't want to say songwriter because that's super crappy sounding, but like I struggle being a person that likes to write things and create music and pieces.
right.
Because it's like I have a definite vision that like if I come up with a riff, I know I want that to go somewhere.
Right.
But like in this band now, I'm really starting to get to this place where I'm like, okay, I come up with a lot of stuff, but like after it's out there, then we can,
Each put our own influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, under a collective.
A lot
Yeah.
of tweaking.
I get like really paranoid. I'm like, guys, if I'm being a jerk, if I'm being too pushy, I don't want to write everything. Like it's just I want to be a band. You know what I mean? And then.
Right.
To be fair, a lot of the riffs you come up with, if not all of them, are pretty fucking good though.
Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks, baby. Thank you, baby girl. But like, so the first 3 songs we had, maybe, the first 2 were old songs of Joe and I's old band, and we pretty much just like pieced them together, and then we started writing as a group after that. Once we got like a lineup. 'Cause I had been in numerous bands with Phil in the past that were. One of them was of a heavier caliber, so like I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy can write some riffs, and he's a heck of a dude too. And then I had played the pop punk emo stuff with Marcus before too.
Okay.
So I'm like, and then I met Lucas last year at like a show or something.
Yeah, I
He's
didn't
like,
know he played guitar.
Be like, yeah,
I knew him as a drummer.
yeah. So I figured, this cast of characters would be really interesting to write music with.
Yeah, definitely.
So now it's like we come up with just some weird stuff,
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there's just so many different. It's like melodic, it's fast, it's heavy. It's like so many things.
When TJ and I would hang out back in the day, he'd like pick me up or something, and he'd be like, hey, check this out. And he would put in a CD, and it'd literally be like 2 songs that he played guitar, bass, drums, vocals, recorded it all, and put it on. He was like, you want to listen to it? Like full all the time. So like,
That's
it
awesome.
was crazy.
Yeah.
You do that all the
I
time.
definitely, I had this vision of just like, I'm just going to write songs.
And that's
just
kind
do
of what
stuff,
happened with us. Like TJ and I didn't talk for like what 10 years,
Mhm.
and I just hit him up on Instagram. I was like, "Hey, dude, I've been thinking about you." We just started like talking,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
texting.
nice.
We texted like girls all the time at the beginning, just
Yeah.
talking, and he was like, "You want
Right.
to come hang out?" And it just kind of like turned into a band. But I remember one day you just sent me, I think it was Crab Legs. You were like, "What do you think of this?" And it was just like a full song. We're like, "Yeah." So everybody got together, we learned it, and then we just started writing from there.
Yeah. And
awesome.
you had mentioned like you heard some of the melodic stuff in there. I've always had like a melodic way when I write like guitar riffs because it's like, think of it like your parents are like scolding you for something, you know, like they're talking, you're not really listening, and then they swear, you know,
Right.
like they say a curse word.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah,
So
pay
like
attention.
when you're a heavy band, it's just like the same thing, you know what I mean? But then you throw in a somewhat melodic riff, and it just changes it.
Oh, absolutely.
And like, you know, because melody does something really weird to the human brain, where it's just like, "Whoa."
Yeah, you're like, whoa, I was not expecting.
But it's not like
that.
it's not intentional. I just happen to have like I can write stuff that's like, and you can not hum it in your head, but like I like listening to that stuff, so it comes out in how I play my crappy guitar.
Crappy guitar. No, it's
You know.
not crappy. It sounds great.
Yeah, I kind of just wait for it, like enough noise to be filled out to where I can jump in and just yell over it, because it was just like the bass player and I'm working on something and I'm like, ah! It just doesn't sound right, so I kind of have to wait, and then
Yeah.
I just listen to it at home just over and over and over, because you guys know you're in that area. It's about an hour to get up here, so I
Right.
drive up here once a week and we practice for like 5 hours.
Wow.
We can.
That's awesome. Heck yeah.
That's our writing process.
Yeah, and
Sometimes
also-
we're just sitting back there waiting, you know, not in a bad way, but like waiting
Yeah.
for a song to come together a little bit more. Then I was like, can I come in now?
Yeah, I feel like too, if you would just like jump right in with us every single time, you'd blow your voice out like within an hour.
I
You know?
physically can.
It's-
you know,
yeah.
right? So yeah.
You know, but it's also nice having him sit back there because then he can listen.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know,
We're all very honest with each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
which is
like,
great.
There have been riffs where like, no, we're not doing
Yeah.
There was one riff we had. It was I came up with it and I was like, man, this is gonna be sweet. This is so heavy. And then Marcus and Lucas came, and then Joe showed up, and I was like, all right, let's jam this riff. And we did, and it ended up sounding like
It's click, click, boom.
yeah, that click click boom song. And it was like at first I was really bummed out, but then it was just hilarious
We
because
just
it's
kept
like
playing it and laugh.
yeah. Like, didn't sound like that on my guitar upstairs.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
You gotta be able to do that stuff. If you get offended by certain things that you just
Right.
it can't be in a group effort, then you gotta write together.
It also
Yeah.
comes in handy when Joe's back there listening, because he's a good arranger and a good editor, and it if you've heard us play the same thing for like 90 minutes, we're just like trying to get like a connection of like riffs and ideas, and how we're going to transition from this part, which is cool, to this part, which is cool, but like also maybe like completely fucking different.
Right.
And you've got to like come up with that little piece that
Like
allows
bridge.
you to
Yeah.
connect those pieces together.
Right.
And so he's listening to us do the same fucking thing and make the same stupid mistakes over and over and over again. And like if we play a part that like if he gets sick of it, hearing it too many times when he's back there hearing it too, he's like, hey, maybe we cut that in half, and it keeps us from being too self-indulgent with just repetitive heavy riffs.
Yeah.
So that's nice, that's a good feature. Like,
Right.
not only is he figuring out where and when he's gonna do some hollering,
Some
Yeah,
hoot
you
and
gotta
holler.
do
Yeah.
something sometimes, because all
Yeah.
of our songs could all be 13 minutes.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because we'll just keep adding like riff after riff after
Our
riff
actually
after
our two
riff.
newest ones are like
Yeah.
what, like 3.5 to 5 max.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
there's
we're
the
intentionally
shorter.
trying to keep them
Yeah.
a little lighter because it's I think most of us have the tendency to be like, let's write another
Yeah,
20-minute
let's throw
song.
something in.
You know?
Let's jam on this for a while.
Yeah, or like the
Yeah.
second song that we played that,
Right.
that you guys recorded, Horse Boat. It's just like the ending of that. That started with we were jamming in Phil's basement months ago, and we were like, where do we go? And then we just started jamming, and then Lucas came up with a sweet bass line, super simple but just like really groovy, and we're like, okay, and we just kept playing that over and over,
Yeah.
and that turned into the ending of the song, and then we're
Yeah.
like, okay, let's just keep doing that over and over again, and just make noise over it,
Right.
and it like we don't have the recording of it released yet, but when we do, the ending came out just beautifully. It's this weird like cluster of noise, but they're still beautiful at the same time. And yeah,
I
it's
remember listening back to it in the studio.
Yeah, we
Lucas
were all
and I
like-
both had like a similar. All of us really like we just zoned out.
yeah. I was seeing things like with my eyes closed.
I
And
was hallucinating.
it was no, it
Singing
was,
bowl.
I kept asking myself
Singing
like,
bowl, like,
yeah.
yeah. On there, right? You got
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah.
Nice. That's
It was
awesome.
awesome. It
I
was
was
so
like,
perfect in that part.
am I sleeping? Or am I awake listening to this? Like, it just,
Where
you know, I just completely zoned out. And it, you know, if it had that effect on
Man, I can't wait to
all
hear
of
it.
us,
I'm
you
gonna
know
freak
what I mean?
out.
And,
Yeah. With headphones especially, it's
yeah,
especially
yeah, there's a lot of
fantastic.
stuff
Yeah, it's
going
like
on.
get in
and,
the zone,
you know, we,
not auto zone.
yeah,
I tried to not
Each
say
guitar is
it.
panned as well, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
we'll get that sponsorship.
Yeah, if anyone's listening. Okay, then can we expect like a full album then in the near future?
We got a
it,
six-pack.
yeah, it's more of an
Waiting
EP,
to
I
waiting to
guess.
come out.
More of an
And then two new
EP,
ones.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's, I mean, I think we're like pretty fucking close to being done with it. Like, how close are we to being done with it?
Well, I have to
All the
finish
pressure on-
mixing like one song, and then Joe wants to redo vocals on
On a
few
couple
songs,
things.
so-
So yeah, there's a couple.
But other
of
than that,
touch-ups,
I mean,
but
it's like pretty much
pretty much
finished
ready to
and
go.
Just
You
needs a
know.
little bit of polishing.
And we're finalizing some artwork for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're gonna get something, a little sleeve printed up, and you know, maybe just like fucking burn the discs ourselves or whatever. You
Yeah,
know.
we're gonna go old school with a few CDs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
If anybody-
yeah.
there's nothing
We're not
like
gonna be-
having a physical copy of something.
Right. I mean, we also
Yeah.
have like a Bandcamp where these songs will be available
Yeah,
for
it'll be
download
online,
and stuff
too.
like that. It'll be online.
Which there's one on there now,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's just neighbordan.bandcamp, right?
I'm
I think.
not sure.
I believe so.
Whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
however the
Yeah.
link reads out, I think it's just /neighbordan, or how does that work?
I think it's neighbordan.bandcamp. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
we're terrible.
we're-
We should have this answer prepared. We should know all our fucking contact information.
We'll find
Our
it.
email
We'll put it
address.
Type in
in.
neighbordan.
Yeah.
Nobody has that.
No, nobody has that name.
I did lots of searching
Yeah.
before that was the last thing I wanted to do, is have a name of somebody else. So.
Yeah. It's super weird though, because so talking about like the online thing and stuff, since we started like a couple months before the COVID hit, we're kind of forced to be a social media band sort of.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like our first show was a live stream. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just like we're playing at Westside Bowl, which is an amazing place to play. I play there numerous times. And
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah, I
fantastic.
love
Right.
West Side.
But we're playing in front of, the sound guy and the girl taking pictures and my wife and like the internet,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
totally cool, but
Yeah.
it's different,
Very futuristic.
but it forces us to be like a little more social media active.
Right.
I've always hated social media my whole life. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like I didn't get a smartphone until I was like 27, and I'm 33 now. It took me forever to give in, but like
Dude, that's
now
awesome.
it's like I'm like, I guess we better post something on Instagram. It's like
Gotta use
just
this crap.
not like we want to get big or anything. We just want people to hear us,
Right.
and
Right.
just like spread the word of some
Trying to
interesting
get out
music.
Can't remain a secret. Yeah.
So like we do the Facebook thing, but it's still just super weird. Like it's hard to go and like push.
Right.
Yeah.
I know
'Cause-
people that own their own
yeah.
businesses. A friend of mine, Jason, he owns a pedal company called Fuzzlord,
Fuzzlord.
like guitar pedals and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and like he does all his own promotion. He does all this stuff, and it's genius. He comes out with a video every couple days. He's like really interactive with people that buy stuff from him and just want to talk to him.
Right. Right.
And, like he makes a living out of it.
Yeah.
So
It
obviously
kinda-
we can't do that with a band, but
Right, yeah.
still like just getting our name out there and
It's hard to do when you have a full-time day job and you're trying to do this on the side and you're like, I don't have enough time to do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, it becomes very difficult.
It's the uncertainty of everything.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just like I go back and forth between PA and Ohio, and I just forget like what are the rules of. I only went out to a restaurant for the first time, and like since this all started, and I didn't know, am I allowed to do I have to eat with my mask like under this? Like I didn't know what I was allowed to do. I hadn't been out so long.
Right.
So now we're playing a show October 31st. It'll be outside, but I don't know if people are still sketched out and willing to come out or not. But that's
Right.
the reason I got into this, is to just play live. Like
I know,
that's,
I know at that place, like you can pretty much social distance.
Yeah.
Like there's
Mhm.
so much space
It's a
there
big
that
property.
you don't have to be like
Yeah.
crowded next to people. So
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about that on here? Like, where's the show going to be?
will this be online before that?
It will.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably get it up, this week
I don't
or
know the
something.
exact
Yeah.
address. I don't know if you guys
it's
got it
yeah.
memorized.
What is it?
27. I could look on. Do you have
I
your?
think I have it on my phone.
Marcus has his robot phone.
Marcus.
But yeah, so our friend Brandon, who is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life, he's like the funniest dude ever. his family, they live on really big property in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. And not last year, but before that, the last couple of years, he would have these shows at his house once a year. Just
really?
like 3 or 4 bands, just hang out. And like Phil and I's old groups have played a couple times. It's just been fun. You know, he'll have a fire, there's food, that kind of stuff.
Bring alcohol.
Yeah, you can do that kind of thing. Yeah, it's super cool.
There's a fire.
Yeah, it's just there's no, you don't have to pay or anything to get in. It's just super
Ritual
cool.
Yeah, you're just hanging out.
yeah, exactly. You have to
That's it.
Yeah.
sign in
That's
blood
the
when you
best
enter.
time.
Take long showers.
But yeah, Marcus, what's the info for this here, bud?
Saturday, October 31st at 7 p.m. 2140 Trout Island Road, Hermitage, Pennsylvania. Come out and see Neighbor Dan.
Island.
2140 Trout Island Road, you say?
2140 Trout Island Road.
So that would be 2140, correct?
I think that is 2140
2140 or
Trout Island
2140?
Road.
I'm trying to subliminally like implant it into,
Yeah, okay.
And it's
So
at 7
sounds like
p.m.,
we'll
it's
see you
free.
there.
7 p.m. free.
free?
Costumes
That'd be a
optional.
good show.
BYOB.
For free.
It's us, a band called Attic Tapes from Mercer, PA. They're friends of Phil and I's. Really good dudes. Cool music, scratchy vocal rock and roll stuff. And there was another band that was supposed to play, but they dropped off. So we're looking for
Yeah,
Someone
anyone
else
listening,
currently.
If you know of any bands who want to play,
Yeah.
get up in there.
hit us up on
Trout
Facebook,
Island.
y'all.
All right. Who does not want to play
You
that
guys think
show?
the Stones are available?
That'd be sweet. That'd be awesome. It's, yeah, let's get. Actually, AC/DC just put out a new song Wednesday.
Really?
Maybe
So
they'll
they're
want to
on
do
for some
it.
shows.
What do you
Huh?
mean for real?
Yeah,
What the heck?
yeah. It's called "Shot in the Dark." I'm an AC/DC fan too.
Is it good?
It sounds just like their other stuff, so
Okay.
it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like nothing has changed.
They got their original drummer and bass player back. So.
Nice.
And singer too.
Wow, that is crazy.
The
Axl Rose
original
was-
singer.
Yeah, Axl Rose was with them for a while.
I
That's a rabbit
forgot
hole. I'm not
about
going to talk
that.
about that.
I forgot about that
Mhm.
completely.
Yeah. So,
Dang.
but anyway, yeah, come to see us play,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this will be our first show in front of more than 2
like
human
a
beings.
Yeah, a handful
You know?
of people at a time.
Sweet.
Which-
I couldn't be more excited for.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mean that as like a derogatory thing, like 2 human beings, but we
Yeah,
also
no
played to
worries.
2 people at West Side Bowl too.
Yeah.
We played to 2
Two
people.
humans.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like an actual
Right.
potential, not crowd, but people. You know.
Is
It's-
everyone dressing up? Should everybody dress up that's coming?
I guess that doesn't matter.
Are you guys
it's
dressing
up to whoever.
I have a great idea. I want
like
us
the
to
idea
just
of it.
wear police uniform, like sexy police uniforms.
cops.
Yeah.
Hot
Like
cops.
that, but with like pig masks just covered in blood. I feel like it's a great idea. But no one wants to do it.
I'm not
Well-
making any political statements.
Yeah, right.
That is true. It's very controversial. It's kind of you could rub some people the wrong way with that one.
Probably why we didn't call the band Power Boys. But that's all right.
I like the Power Rangers idea, to be honest. There's 5 of us. There's 5 of them.
That's-
it just
yeah.
makes sense.
Pretty good too.
Yeah.
Guys,
Power
come on.
boys.
We're not like in the best physical shape, I think, which adds to the fun of it.
That reminds me of the Workaholics episode "Man Up" from season 2. Did you ever watch that?
I've probably seen it.
Yeah, I've seen every episode. I don't remember.
Best episode ever. If you
Season
have
2
to-
episode what?
Probably
I thought I
like
got it
6
memorized.
maybe. I mean, it's called Man Up,
Yeah.
so you'll see it. Hulu, do it.
I know I've seen the first 3 seasons of that, but
Man Up is just, I love it.
it's sad. We have Hulu too, and I didn't know that that's on there.
Well,
You
Wow.
just changed the course of the rest of my evening and weekend, probably. So
I hope you watch that episode very soon. You will laugh the whole way through. It's
You guys
it's
ever
so
watch
good.
Pen 15?
Never.
No, but I did
It's so
see
funny.
like
And
the.
15.
Yeah,
It's on
'cause I'm like,
Hulu.
what is this?
Really?
Yeah, it's
What's
on
it?
Hulu. It's basically like a girl version of like Workaholics or something. It's like Broad City type of thing, but maybe
Oh, that's
maybe a little
funny.
bit.
Okay.
How are you?
27.
27.
28.
Okay, so it takes place like, so yeah, like 2001 through 2003 era.
Nice.
So a lot of the references are
Wow,
pretty funny. It's
okay.
funny. It's real funny.
I'll have to give it the old go.
That means penis, by the way.
That's why I was just penis. Like I was seriously like, what the hell is
Yeah,
this
that's
for
the
children?
joke.
Like I was like, what
I
is this
remember that. I
for?
get tricked. Let me write Pen 15 on your hand. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
yep.
Or like the little things in like the calculators. It was like boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
1134.
Hell and boobs.
Yeah.
Hell, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello and boobs.
Hello.
Or was it boobies?
Boobies.
Boobies, yeah.
You can also go as far. I think there are enough digits to type boob less.
I remember that one too.
I
Yeah.
think that's like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
That's
I remember that.
That's the best you can do right there. That's upper echelon shit.
Quality.
Another very, very awesome quality about our band is that we're all 10-year-old kids on the inside.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
That's very me too.
Yeah.
Very Beavis and Butthead type of humor.
Absolutely.
I got to pay a couple bills, monthly. But other than that, I'm just like a professional 11-year-old boy.
What else would you want to be?
Yeah, there's
That's
I
it.
should get a card.
I don't want to wear a shirt and tie and do all that stuff. So.
Heck no blue collar here.
Oh, that's fun.
I guess some off the wall type questions.
Let's hear
What's your favorite holiday and
Halloween.
why?
I love Halloween. I love the
Halloween?
spookiness of Halloween. I love the darkness of Halloween.
Yeah.
The smell of autumn itself. TJ and I were just talking about that last night. Like, I just fucking love Halloween.
It's the best.
We love
It
the
is the best.
smell of Halloween.
I do, absolutely.
Autumn is a
Halloween
nice
It
smells
smells like
smell.
dedicated
Yeah.
tree leaves. That's what it smells like.
No, it does smell like there's definitely an aroma that's like, hell yeah.
Sweaty latex rubber. That's what Halloween makes me think.
Christmas is easily, hands down, the best holiday ever.
It's the most exciting for sure.
Mhm.
It's like,
Because it goes from as soon as Thanksgiving basically ends, it's
Right.
Christmas.
Right.
Thanksgiving is
To like
underrated.
February is how I feel. It's the most magical time of the year. I hear Christmas music, I get into a good mood. I
Right.
love Christmas.
I worked retail a lot when I was younger, so I'm good on Christmas.
It's just such a good vibe.
I'm with Marcus on
You would think
Halloween.
that,
That'd be
right?
my pick.
Yeah.
I love Halloween.
I'm straight up Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
I've got my there's a
big
big
fans.
meal. That's the thing. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to give anybody shit. You don't have to get shit from anybody.
Okay, that
It's
We'll just
completely
hang out and
fucking
eat.
hassle free. You come out. There's gonna be fucking
I'll eat my way to
turkey,
pumpkin pie.
mashed
I don't
potatoes,
care.
gravy.
I
It's like
that.
a traditional
That
thing.
stuff. Like turkey's okay. Like I'd
See,
rather it be like a day of
You have to-
lasagna or something.
You have to smoke the
For some
turkey.
people it
Yeah.
is.
If you roast the turkey in the oven, it's boring as fuck. If you
Like,
smoke the
give me
turkey,
sushi.
it's fucking
Give me,
where it's
I
at.
want to eat
Roll it up and
potatoes
smoke it.
Trucker's dad always made a
deep fried. Yeah.
Yeah, deep frying turkey's great. It
I've
keeps
heard
it
that.
juicy.
And
That's
it's
very
just
good.
it's just white people stuff.
And then Easter's the second runner-up because it's like a candy holiday. Candy and hard-boiled eggs.
Candy.
I mean,
like
what?
pie.
how
and
can
I like
you-
no pie?
You don't like any pies?
No, I like cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
like
closest thing.
You
to
don't like
pie
a
I can
lemon
get down.
meringue or a sweet potato or
We
a
can go all
pumpkin.
night with you naming
My
pies.
God.
No to all of them.
Go all night naming pies.
I like the idea of a blueberry pie, and then I'm just like, I bite into it. I'm like, this sucks.
What about it? Don't you like?
See,
I'm super
I
curious.
don't, as a general
notice
rule,
there's
like
nothing
sweet
about that.
potatoes, but sweet potato pie
It's
is a
fantastic.
fucking amazing
It's
thing. It's
fantastic.
like, but no, I normally don't like sweet
Give
potatoes.
me
Like
ice
if there's
cream
like
cake.
candied
Yeah.
yams with
That's
the,
Yeah,
the
hey.
marshmallow
Sounds
shit on it,
delicious.
like I don't want anything to do with that.
Christmas.
But sweet potato pie,
All of it. Give me
totally
an ice cream
different.
cake.
I don't like the texture
We
of
should go buy
pumpkin
an ice cream
pie.
cake.
Yeah.
Or any kind of
Like
pudding
what?
pie.
Okay,
It's
that's
like, all right,
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
throw
It's-
up big
no
time. It's like
pumpkin
baby
roll.
food.
What about meringue, which is like slightly more gelatinous, less
I like
puddingy,
the
more
flavor.
jello-y?
Lucas knows his
But it's like-
pie.
I
So I'm
love
impressed.
Get it
Yeah.
off
I
the
hate
crust.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
maybe I could eat it like just by itself, kind of like a Jello. Maybe.
okay, okay.
But with the crust, it's like, all right.
Ah,
I'm
see, it
definitely
works for
gonna
me.
throw
It
up.
works for
I-
me.
no.
And meringue, I mean, come on.
What is a
I'd rather
meringue?
eat like
It's like a
candies
whipped
or
egg.
It's like
You've never had
baked. It's like
It's like
egg
egg
whites
white.
with
Yeah.
sugar and
Those
it's
Yeah.
sugar.
I'm
so
definitely
good.
familiar with it.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. I've never seen.
It's like a stiff foam, not quite a mousse.
Like, what's a Boston
Not
cream? Like, what's that?
What's what?
Like Boston cream. Like, what's that? Isn't that like?
Boston
I know
cream,
there's
that's a
type
little
of
more
donut like that.
like.
It's fantastic.
Is that
Isn't
an actual
that
pie
more
or is that a donut?
custardy?
I think that's a
That
It could be
format
everything.
word.
It's like I'm picturing something with like a whip on it. And it's got like chocolate and.
Yeah,
Something
usually there's
on it or
chocolate, but
something.
there's like
There is a
a
Boston cream.
puddingy
pie. That's real simple. Or it might be a
Is it?
cake. I'm not sure.
whichever
I
the
thought it was a
one.
donut.
It is also
It's
a
a
donut.
donut.
It is my favorite donut.
Yeah.
I love those.
I'm not crazy about filled donuts.
Whichever the I don't either.
Y'all making me want
The
some
only
sweets
one
right
I
now.
like is the one with custard in the middle. Whichever that is. That's the Boston cream. Okay. I also like a cream puff.
Cream puff.
Yeah.
I like an old-fashioned donut.
Like just a cake
no
donut?
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
No, there has
Like
to be
the cake donut is just a plain cake donut is where it's
Right.
fucking at. Because if you don't have a good plain cake donut, then you don't have good donuts. Fuck it.
Exactly.
Apple fritter.
You're crazy.
I like an
Yeah,
apple
you're
fritter.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like
that.
the icing on it,
No.
sprinkles.
Yeah, I want a
Get that
plain
shit
cake
out
fucking
there.
donut.
I want.
And the other one I really like, I like crullers, which are the kind of
The
tractor,
tractor
tire
tires.
ones. Yeah, man, those are fucking good. They've got like this egginess to them. It's just it's
Right.
wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. I can talk about
Donuts.
donuts all night long.
I can see the passion.
I'm racking my brain now trying to think what sweets we have upstairs. I'm like, what can I think we just have sugar cookies, but
That'll do.
yeah, it's something.
That's hilarious.
We did have brownies, but I think we ate, like my wife and I had the last one this morning.
Oh,
I
no.
love
Maybe
the question
bake some more
was-
tonight.
It was store bought, even worse. But you know, it's something.
A brownie's
Yeah.
a brownie, you know?
It is.
See, I don't know, man. Like I prefer the kind you bake from a box at home. Like
Right.
Those are good.
they're like the right texture. Like they're chewy. The crust is fucking you know
Yeah.
crispy on the edges. Even if it's like a little too stiff, like sometimes that's all right.
You
We
just
can
gotta
all
dip it
agree
in milk
that
for
a cookie
extra
cake
long.
is disgusting, right?
Cookie cakes are kind of
Yeah,
fun.
I've never
yeah,
had
I
one.
don't like
It's
that,
just proportionately, it's all wrong.
And the icing
They don't
on
taste
it.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
disgusting.
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it
no.
is good.
Yeah.
Taste the
Donut.
dye.
Yeah.
No. Super nasty.
All right. What is your favorite age of living?
So far.
Yes.
That's a wild question.
That is a good question.
Yeah,
Age of
wow.
living.
Age that we've been.
That we have
you mean?
That's our
lived.
new
Yeah.
band name, actually. We're called Age of Living.
Yeah, right.
Living. Yeah.
When I was in the womb.
Yeah,
What the fuck happened out there?
So like you mean like that we have lived before.
Yeah.
Okay.
you're 16, I'd say easily.
Really?
You're just old enough to do everything and just young enough to not really get in trouble for it. You don't really have, you can have a job, you can have money, you can drive, but at the end of the day, you still go back home to like your parents' house. You don't have to pay for anything.
Right.
So I think
Yeah, that's true.
you're mature enough. I mean, there were, how old was King Tut? He was like 14 when he was a king. Or whatever. So like, old enough to be a king.
Right.
But after that, it's all downhill, man.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like
16
it's
rules.
all mixed bag. Like every year brings
Yeah.
its misery and joy.
No, what's your favorite?
What's your favorite year of misery?
You're like 16, you can still drink, but when you're 21, it's not really fun anymore.
If you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to think of
you're-
an
you're
age
like-
you've been,
yeah.
It's
what's
right
the
there.
least shitty one? The not
Right.
too shittiest year you've ever
No, I was
The
like
one you
emo when I
look
was
back
16,
on,
but
you're
it's
like,
still
man,
cool.
I miss that year. If you could get into a time machine right now,
Yeah.
I would
what year would you
say
go
for
to?
me that was when I was 29 years old.
Really?
29 years old. By the time I was 29, I was like maybe like done with being like a young asshole. and
Is that when that's supposed to happen?
that's when it happened for me, man. I was 29. It took a minute.
Then you
It-
became a middle-aged ass.
Then I became a middle-aged asshole.
You're on
You know what I
ranks
mean?
and
Like,
misses.
just like my advertising demographic just changed. That's it.
Right.
And but I was like responsible and yet like so new at being able to afford like a new car for the first time. But I was still like relatively carefree. Like the debt and the weight of just society had not yet beaten me into a pulp. But it was just like, it was just like right on the cusp where everything was like, oh fuck, everything has come together. And
Yeah,
like
falling into place.
it has degraded ever so slightly over the years and then bounced back up and then degraded. There's an ebb and flow to everything, but I definitely don't mind being as old as I am either. Like I can't see for shit in the dark at all. Like, when I was young, my dad used to adjust the thermostat on the wall with a flashlight. And I was like, what are you doing, man? Like the lights are on in
You
here.
okay, bud? Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you'll know.
I do that with
He fucking knows.
Oh,
He knows.
shit,
So,
yeah.
like I wear bifocals now.
I just learned about those.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that means
Yeah.
like something's going at the top when you look out,
Right.
something's going at
And
the
then
bottom.
something
when
at
you
the
look
bottom,
down.
it's like,
I asked my
Yeah.
dad, I'm like, how did you just not just fall down every step you took?
you don't notice it.
3 different directions.
Nah, you don't notice it.
It's so great. He said it took
Mine
a-
don't have lines in them, so it's like a smooth transition.
Thick
It's
boys.
fine. Yeah, these aren't quite that
So
thick.
you look up and you like zoom in on. No, it's the
No,
you look
no.
down and then you can
you look
see
down,
it.
you can read, but it's a magnification, but you don't
Yeah.
notice it as being like a superpower because
I
it
feel like
just
it'd be like drunk goggles.
no, it just fixes like your shitty eyes.
Yeah.
Like it makes it so you don't have to hold something way out here to see the fucking fine print on it. You can hold it like at a somewhat normal length and then adjust it to make sure it's light enough to see
He
it.
said the first day he got him, he was playing a softball game, and he was out in the outfield, and a line drive got hit to him. And so he
Yeah.
put his glove up, and he just felt it go wow, past his face.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, because just his depth perception was so off.
I definitely haven't tried to catch a fly ball since.
Yeah.
I've
I
gotten
heard
them.
the term bifocals, but I never really knew
Yeah.
what that actually meant.
But I
thought that
was,
just meant thick glasses. I didn't know there was like.
I just
was
think of Ben
never
Franklin
really
when I
good
hear
at catching
bifocals,
a
like
fly
just
ball.
wear them
Yeah.
way down here. And,
Yeah.
See,
I
big
couldn't
old
catch a
stuff.
fly ball that well without them, so it's not
He
like.
can knock his teeth out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd get
So
hit
we
in the
got
face.
16, 29.
I don't know.
In the
Good
womb.
questions.
Feels like I hate that.
in the womb.
I was thinking about it sitting over here, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of agree with you, like the 15, 16 age range. Like, I mean, anywhere between like 15 to 17, to be honest. Like, those are good years. Super fun times.
I guess maybe I'd say like 21, 22, 23, around that age.
24.
23 is my favorite.
I feel like I did a lot of cool shit at the time, like went on tours and
Wow.
was very carefree, would like just have fun all the time.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Now I have a lot of responsibilities. Chickens.
Yeah, I have. There's certain parts of every age, I guess, that I wish I could go back to, or parts that like I wish I could do over. Most of my 20s, I just drank the whole time. So like, there were some fun times and stuff. 18 years old, I didn't drink or do drugs or anything. My band I was in at the time, we went on like a month-long tour. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But then there were other elements of that were just crappy, just like,
Right.
it's like I gotta start paying bills now. And now I'm 33 and it's like I'm married and I have a stepdaughter and I really love elements of that. And I wish there were elements of me not paying bills anymore, but it's, it's, I'm just thankful for what I have right now, as cheesy as that sounds,
Right.
and just going with it, especially with the COVID.
Right.
It's like,
Could be
I-
a lot worse.
it could be a lot worse. I'm super happy to be able to get in a room with these dudes and like
Right.
headbang a little bit. So
For
Could be a
sure.
lot better too.
it could be a lot better too. Yeah.
Not too shitty.
Yeah, you got to make the best of the
Yeah.
current situation at hand, or otherwise you'll be miserable. So,
Sure. When we're playing in a band, doing podcast interviews, ain't that bad.
Yeah, right?
Ain't that bad at all.
Dude, the scene around here when we were like 16 and 15 was
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean? That's
Oh,
why
There were
I
shows.
associate-
Everywhere,
I associate
yeah.
that just like a good time.
right.
Also, every scene is pretty good when you're 15 or 16.
Any scene.
Any
The fact that it was
scene.
active, I mean, I've been
Yeah.
gone since
I have no
09,
idea.
something like that. And I just don't hear about shows or see shows anymore. I don't know what goes on around
Gotta
here.
move to the cities.
Yeah.
Big city.
I just been around here. Like they used to be Sharon and Hermitage or Brookfield. I,
Yeah,
like,
not
there
so
was
much.
I think
active
the
thing.
youth listen to like emo rap now.
Yeah.
and I don't know if there are any like rising stars around, so you just
Yeah.
gotta look around for kids with like face tats.
Yeah, we used to
They say, like,
drive to go
baby
see
cry
bands.
or
Now,
something.
you know, like,
No.
drive up to Edinburgh,
Hang out, yeah.
There's a lot.
I bet you the current crop of 15 and 16-year-olds knows where those shows
Yeah,
are.
really.
They're just not telling you, old man.
Hey kids, where are the shows at tonight?
I'll buy you drinks.
Now when we were like in our teens and stuff, in Sharon, Pennsylvania especially, there was like this fire hall there. There was this place, and then there was this venue called Freddie Fresh's, which started out as a teen dance club,
Oh my God.
but then they started having shows there with like 4, 5, 6 bands. Then the fire hall, a friend of ours would put on shows there. There was like 10 bands in one day, and you would go there and you would hear new music.
Whoa.
And it was right when MySpace was starting to get huge. So like, you see a band play and it's like, I wonder if they have a MySpace.
Right.
Not, I heard this band on MySpace, let's go
Right.
see them. You would just see a
Right.
random band play. There's just handfuls of bands I remember their names off the top of my head, but I can't find their music anywhere that I've seen at these shows. That like, man, those guys were incredible.
I've only had like one of those moments, and it was whenever AWOL Nation. It was like before they got like on the radio, and they had like a free show at the Ultra Bar in the Strip District. And I was like, I'll go see them. And this dude Sykes opened up for them, and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this band's freaking pretty cool. But I was like really young at the time. And next thing you know, you hear it on the radio. I'm like, oh shit, like I saw them. Like I like felt like so like whoa.
What, Sykes or AWOL Nation?
AWOL Nation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The song Sail, like was on the radio like the next
Okay.
year. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But I was young. And
I didn't know Sykes was around for that long.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm friends with his bass player. I used to be in a band with his bass player.
Get out of here.
Wow.
A lot of people know him.
Right? Yeah.
I talked to so many people and they're like, I know Sykes. I'm friends with him.
He's
And
the
I'm
he's
like,
the
"Wow."
vocalist in a metal band. I forget what they're called. Saw them play in Youngstown at West Side Bowl last year.
Is that the podcaster guy or no?
I think so. Yeah.
Like to start the beat with Sykes.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, he's the vocalist in a metal band.
Yeah, it's like in all caps. So it's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Sikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Whoa. Sorry.
It's crazy how many people know the same people. You know? It's like, wow.
Pretty incestuous.
I think that's a porn category.
Gelatinous was the other one you busted out.
Gelatinous.
Oh man, I don't know. Just how I do.
Just gotta keep things, you know.
The OUS's
Yeah.
section you were in.
I just dig that suffix.
I really dig OUS.
That's hilarious. Well, is there anything else you guys want to add? Any new information? Any new anything?
I'm pregnant.
Holy shit.
Just kidding.
One somewhat interesting thing is that one of the two songs that we played, that was the first time that it's ever been played for anybody.
Wow.
So that's like a world premiere, you know.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. And
Yeah.
that song is so new that it doesn't even actually have a name yet.
Okay.
So that's
We
like
enjoyed it.
that's brand fucking new.
Just
So
conceived.
you know,
Okay.
yeah. We've been working on that off and on for like a month or so, and I think we have finally gotten it whipped into shape to where you know we can play it in front of people. So that's
of
brand new.
ideas.
That's you know
Yeah.
fresh.
Fresh. Oh well, it was amazing.
Thanks.
I loved it, yeah.
Thank you.
And I don't know, I really love your guys' sound. It's very unique.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And,
Thank you.
yeah, I think everyone else is gonna love it as well. I can't wait to get it out there.
That's probably the
Neither
best
can
compliment
we,
that
yeah.
me personally, just like as a person, I could receive is like, because I don't take compliments well. Like if someone's like, "Hey, your band's really good," I'm like, no. But if someone's like, "You guys are unique," that's like the
Yeah.
coolest compliment anybody can
I
get. I
agree.
feel
I
like,
mean,
you know.
It feels
seriously.
It is
genuine.
true.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
I could not even tell you like another band. It's like, oh yeah, you sound like blah.
Right.
Like, I have no clue what I could compare you guys to.
No.
That's
Neither
awesome.
do
Nobody
I.
does.
That's sweet.
Like,
Yeah, that's a
it's-
good thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you guys definitely
Stand
have.
Maybe like a toilet flushing with like, you know, with like a distortion pedal plugged into it or something. But
Elephant.
that's how I'm gonna describe us now. Whenever someone asks, like, you know, when you flush the toilet and you plug a distortion pedal into it.
Oh,
You know how
That's
you do
yeah.
it.
Of course, I do that all the time. You
Right.
know, you know, I'm not weird.
It's a regular ass day.
Yeah.
Wow.
We want to thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
sweet. This is
That was
fun.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
It's fun
It
for
was
us
great.
as well.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing this.
We
so.
just like meeting people. It's whatever.
Yeah.
We help people.
And it's fun
You
to
know?
like meet, new
Yeah.
bands, listen to new music, and
It's tough to do this day and age right now with everything
Seriously.
going on.
Yeah.
and everything.
But yeah, thanks so much. I guess we'll sign off.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Can we all say goodbye at the same time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let- I'm gonna count to 3 and we all say goodbye. Ready?
On 3.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You're That's the best. Nice.
I'm officially old.
Very nice.
Just you wait.
Just you wait. Doing sick tricks on your daughter's scooter. At least you're putting some. What? You're doing shit. We're gonna go hiking Sunday. It's like the most physical activity she's done in a long time.
Where did Alexis go?
She's in the bathroom.
Ah. I'm like, she just peace out.
Alright, you got it from me.
Yeah, right.
She's like sneaking over. She's like,
Do you have an exit?
yeah, are there doors in there?
Right. With that, yeah.
song doesn't have a name yet.
Okay,
I wanna call it
untitled.
The sock gift of the gorilla world.
I like that too.
Yeah, this is the sock gift of the gorilla world.
It's so fun to get to play in front of anyone at all.
Yeah, I
Like, you
bet.
have no
It's
fucking
exciting.
idea how fun it is to get to play in front of anyone
It's
at
nice,
all.
thank you.
I'd be
It's
super
nice, yeah.
nervous. I feel like.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's nerves or if it's just excitement right now.
Or we're super stoned.
It's probably
It's one of those things for sure.
I just have acid reflux. That's my excuse.
It was almost sexual.
Guys, smoking crap.
All right, this is a song called Horse Boat,
Okay.
and it's very short.
Oh, sweet.
All right, ready?
That's enough.
Short to some.
Do you mind if we post stuff on social media, like Instagram and stuff? Is that
Not at all.
okay?
Please do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I like already tagged you in some stuff.
Please do that.
Too late. Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.